In this session, we're going to take a look at the Seps tab and do a sneak peek of the upgrade that's coming in SimpleSeps Raster 1.2. Now, as I've said, those of you that have 1.0 will get this upgrade for free. 1.2 of SimpleSeps Raster is a massive upgrade. It's a huge upgrade. I know we've looked at the simplicity of the Seps functionality, but in this session I want to take a look at some of the functionality we're going to have in the upgrade available in the Seps tab. Now, as I said, those of you that are back in 1.0 will get this upgrade for free, but after we release 1.2, we're going to raise the price of SimpleSeps up to somewhere around $400. So if you're thinking about getting into the product, now's the time to do it before we release this free upgrade for the 1.0 users. I have on the screen here a grayscale image. And very often when we're dealing with screen printing, we'll actually want to color separate our grayscales. If we were going to print this on a dark garment, we definitely want to color separate it and pull out our white and our gray and our black. And when we separate our grayscale images, what we actually get is better grayscale prints on our garments or in our designs. Let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to show you some really interesting functionality here. The first thing I want to do is just go ahead and select this. I'm going to go to Advanced Tools. I'm going to go ahead and open up my SimpleSeps Raster. And as you can see, there's quite a change here. And we've got a lot of blends, and you can actually go through and check things. Let's say you had a design that had red and yellow, and say it had a violet or a purple. You can select these three objects, not objects, but colors, and pull them just by clicking on the click set. So now you can not only do full blends, but you can also pull custom blends based on the colors that you see that you need out of your design. I'll go ahead and unselect these because I don't want to separate these into grayscale. But I do want to have these three down here checked. I'll go ahead and uncheck these, and then all I do, I could just click here, or I could click these buttons one at a time, but if I just click, 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 and then I click on Seps, I'm going to go ahead and separate this grayscale, and you're going to see some pretty interesting stuff here. So I'll go ahead and click that, and we'll let that process. Now once that's finished processing, let's go ahead and see what we got here. I'm going to go ahead and we'll turn off our hue standard here. I'm going to turn on my black, my white, and my gray. And that is a grayscale color separation. Now this will print very nicely on dark garments because you've got your white, your gray, and your black, or colored garments, as opposed to just working with straight halftones. But there's some interesting things about separating a grayscale that give you the ability to actually colorize your images, opening up a whole new spectrum of design options when you're working with images and color separations and even graphic design itself in CorelDRAW, going far beyond the world of vector and into the world of very high-end design very easily. Let's take a look at this. Here I have my white. I'm going to go ahead and click on that layer, and we'll go ahead and expand this. I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to change my white to a red. So I'll come down here in my RGB palette, and I'll just right click and change that monochrome to a red. Come down here to my grayscale layer. I'll go ahead and expand that. I'll select the monochrome medium here, and I'll change that with a right click to a yellow. And you can see what I've done is I've colorized my design. Or I could look at it the other way around. I'll come up here and select this layer, select this graphic, change that to, say, a yellow, and then come down here, click on the grayscale layer here, select that, then right click and change that to a red. Or I could take a look at it as, let's say, a kind of rock star blue. I'll go ahead and click here and change that to a blue. I'll come up here to the yellow, and I'll change that to, say, a lighter blue. And you can see the type of effects and looks I'm going to get. I want to come down here to the darker one. I'll just go ahead. The blue's a little bit too dark for me. I probably want something like right about there and bring that up. So you can see the power of being able to separate these images or these grayscales automated directly in CorelDRAW and then do some colorizing with them, opening up, as I said, a whole new spectrum of design options, going way far beyond vector very easily and very quickly directly in CorelDRAW. And we can see what these objects are as we pull them apart here. I'll go ahead and pull this over. There's my black, and there's my white here, and this would be the gray. And I'll go ahead and right and click and change that to a black. And you can see we can also do some interesting pulls based on these grayscales. So here we have a very powerful feature coming out in the SimpleSeps Raster 1.2, and that is the ability to color separate grayscales and actually colorize your images, things we never would have imagined we could have done so quickly and so easily directly in CorelDRAW, but now it's just a matter of selecting a few options and then clicking the Seps button. I want to take a look at another graphic here. I'm going to go ahead and delete all of this here. Here I've got an Autobot image set up in CorelDRAW, and this comes in at about 668 dpi. Next I want to take this bitmap. I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and I'm going to go to a new page. I'll select OK, go ahead and paste that in. I'm going to open up my SimpleSeps Raster, and I can see that I've got red and yellow, and then I'll come over here to the Click Seps tab, and I'm also going to want a black to color separate this. So I've selected my black here under the Click Seps tab, and I've got the red and yellow selected out of the 6-color blend. So here I'm creating my own custom color separation routine based on what I need in my graphic. Simply come down here and click on Click Seps, and we'll let that process. Now once that's finished processing, all I need to do is simply minimize my SimpleSeps Raster. I can come down here and I can see that I've pulled my yellow and my red, and there's my color separation with my black on top. So I just did a custom blended color separation where I set up the pulls of color that I wanted to pull and only ran that, as opposed to running through all of the different colors, waiting for all that to process, and then going through and determining which colors I need and don't need. So we'll go ahead and wrap this sneak peek for the SimpleSeps Raster 1.2, which will be released probably Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. And as I said, those of you that are on SimpleSeps Raster 1.0 will get this 1.2 upgrade for free. And as we can see, we've just got a massive amount of new functionality that will be available in the SimpleSeps Raster 1.2. So we'll go ahead and wrap here, and we'll see you in our next video.